Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Two Alcoholics and a Microphone. Good morning, Tia.
Good morning, Brian.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're going to be talking about a tough topic, aren't they all though? And the topic is relapse. Reason being is here recently we had a very dear friend that had some years of sobriety under their belt come and take a start over token. And we just thought it would be an important topic for us to share with you all. And it'll be therapeutic for us to talk about it.
Absolutely. So, a relapse is also known as a slip when sobriety loses its priority,
Yes.
is how it's referred to. And it takes a lot of courage for someone to come back into a room and admit. I know there's a lot of shame and guilt that accompanies, anxiety when you come back in and ask for a start over token. And you got to keep in mind you haven't forgotten anything that you've learned. So basically, you've changed your sobriety date. Is one way to look at it. And we don't see many people that come back in for some reason and get a start over token, and they just kind of disappear off into the ethos. So,
Which is what we don't want to happen.
no.
And as a fellowship, you don't want to. You almost don't even know how to react because you don't want them to feel any more guilty or any more anxious about their honesty. But you don't want them to think that you don't think it's a big deal either. Like, oh, that's okay. No big deal. Because it is a big deal. But not to the point that they feel ashamed. So it's just a really strange emotion that's unique to the recovery community. And the most similar thing that I can relate it to is it's almost like you feel homesick, but I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, it's a tough topic. Now we've gone over this. We've done several takes to get to this point right now.
Yeah.
It's very personal, and yet it's something that needs to be talked about.
We figure the best thing for us to do is talk about periods of time when we had some sobriety under our belts, and then we went through something really tragic, but we didn't relapse.
Okay.
What we did differently, maybe,
So, first of all, let me just explain something. So, the best thing I've ever done in my entire life is made the decision to change my life. I did not understand where I was at when I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous as far as my mindset and my view of the world, and how I used alcohol as like a cure-all for everything until it didn't work anymore, and it left me feral. It's like a feral human being. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, I don't know why I shared that, but I did. I was definitely feral. But so I came into the rooms back to the relapse. So I have a complete understanding. So I used to be the town drunk, and I was disorderly and a drunkard. So when I refer to myself as an alcoholic, it's very empowering. So I've seen life from both sides now, and I want to play for the right team, so to speak. So the winning side is love and kindness and treating everyone with respect. And
that includes yourself.
That's right. We talk about giving amends, but we have to forgive ourselves. And we have to learn how to like ourselves, because I didn't really like myself when I first came in. And then we move from like to love. So we have to love things about ourselves.
And about others.
And about others. Well, right. I mean, it's hard to love someone else when you don't love yourself or even like yourself. But that comes. So.
So back to the acronym, SLIP, sobriety loses its priority. That can be, for me, I'm very fortunate because my job is in the recovery field. So that doesn't, for me, when I'm super busy at work, I'm not far away from my program. It's with me all the time. And for that, I am so very grateful, because a lot of people don't have a job in the recovery industry. And so, just take just any old job. You get busy at work and, I'm tired and I just don't want to go to a meeting, and I'm just going to go home, and it's raining or it's snowing or whatever. Getting to your meetings loses its priority in your life is when the slip begins.
And for me, the best part of the meeting is the meeting before and after the meeting. That's where we make friends, we get we meet new people, and we learn about them. We share our experience, strength, and hope. And it's a lot more free-flowing, the meeting before and after the meeting. So.
And eventually, when you make in a fellowship, you feel some accountability. That helps, because gosh, if I relapse, then I'm going to disappoint my fellows. And while that shouldn't be the only reason to not pick up a drink, any reason to not pick up a drink is a great first one. And then you figure out where you're lacking in your program. And talk to your sponsor, reach out, talk to somebody else, let them know that you're struggling. That's the very first step in relapse prevention, is the fellowship.
Absolutely. And, it's difficult. I mean, we all have thoughts pop in our mind, every day. And it's when we start to romance, or we start to, really massage into those thoughts, and that a drink would solve an issue. And it doesn't. It never did for me. Put me in a bad spot.
Or when it's to the point that I thought my life was going to be easier in sobriety. I mean, the night step promises, you can twist those words into making yourself feel like they're not coming true based on any situation. And it's because you're not working a program, you're not talking to other alcoholics. Because I promise you, if you stay active in a program and in a fellowship, those thoughts are less likely to start creeping up the back of your neck, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. So the connections we make, the bonds, the intimate conversations that we have, it's all character building. And I value my friendships. I try, they say people come in for a reason or a season or a lifetime. I always try to make all my friendships lifetime friendships. And that adds right there a layer of accountability for me. The more people I meet, then I'm accountable to those people. And I like seeing them and interacting with them. So.
But during COVID, when we were all in quarantine, this became very difficult. And during that period of time, my sobriety date is July 9th, 2015. So by the time 2020 had rolled around, I had about a good 5 years under my belt. And so we were all isolated to an extent. And that is when my mother died. And I had not been able to speak to her the last 2 years of her life because of some family relationships that were very, very strained. And so then she had died, and there was nothing I could do. I couldn't leave the state to go have her funeral. I had to deal with everything over the phone, and there was not going to be any kind of big funeral, or none of my family at that point was still speaking to me. So I often look back on that and wonder why I didn't relapse. It was just a nice big cocktail, just perfect combination for a relapse. And the best reason I can give is because I didn't want to. I didn't want to start over. I had come so far.
Right. I mean,
that wasn't going to bring my mother back. It wasn't going to make it to where I get to have a conversation with her before she died.
For me, it's an accumulation of all these happy memories, these little pictures in my mind, and a willingness to trade all of that for a momentary lapse of reason, so to speak. And I'm not willing to do that today. So, along these lines, I had a tragedy happen in my recovery, and a dear friend of mine passed, and I had to stop going to meetings. And the reason I did is because I was very angry again. So, and I didn't want to bring that kind of, despair into the meetings. So I stayed away for a while, sorting through, all the emotions that I was going through at the time. So I thought that was important to say. It's not all based on the meetings that keep me sober. It's a bigger, larger picture of many things I've done in the past to keep me looking forward. The future's bright.
Another thing that I like to tell myself is that my sobriety is mine and it belongs to me. And I'm not going to give that to anybody else. No matter what anybody does to me or says to me, or no matter what happens in my life, I get to keep my sobriety. That's mine. There's nobody that can take that from me except for me.
Right. To me, it's very sacred. It's very special. It's hard to... sometimes it's hard to convey how I actually feel about this. It's just a warming sensation of love, when I see my friends and I think about everything I've been through, and it's just a great feeling, I mean, when I first came to AA, why would I want to do something that would improve the way that I exist as a human being? I mean, that was ridiculous, why would I want to do that? But it's quite apparent now. So, these smiles are genuine and real. So, enjoying life here on planet Earth. What else were we going to talk about, Tia? We have a lot more to talk about on this. We've gotten off track, but not really. We're focused. We have a list here that we're going down.
Really, I thought others could benefit from us talking about why we didn't relapse, but I guess we've already kind of covered that. And that really, the best thing to do is reach out when you're struggling. That's the main point that I would like to get across.
Absolutely. When that idea or thought comes in your head that this is a good idea, or maybe this sounds good.
It's not.
It's not. Just...
And listen, if it does happen, I promise you, every single person in the rooms, in your home group, in any AA meeting, even if they've never met you before, they would rather you come in and lay your burden in the floor of the meeting and take a start over token than just not come back and die. No one is going to shame you for relapsing.
Absolutely not.
And no one's going to be angry with you for relapsing.
And please remember, you didn't forget anything you learned, so you just changed your sobriety date.
You change your sobriety date, you learn from it, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep on going. That's the important thing. Because the other hard part about being in the recovery fellowship is that people do die. They don't come back. And then you find out that they overdosed or that they died of the disease, and it's a different kind of loss.
It is. It's a disease because it's progressive and it kills.
It does. And it doesn't have to. So.
Okay. Well, if you think you might have a problem,
reach out for help.
And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, please.
But most importantly, share this video, share our channel with someone who might be struggling. That's it for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.